The Zionist Organization of America is the oldest pro-Israel group in the United States. We were founded in 1897. Past presidents include Justice Louis Brandeis, Rabbi Abba Hillel Silver, Stephen Wise, a famous past president. And we were created to work on recreating the State of Israel, which happened with God's help in 1948. Now we're here to promote strong U.S.-Israel relations and to promote what we believe is good for Israel and the Jewish people. And that's why we exist. And we're really the only organization of any significance in America that tells the whole truth of the ongoing Arab war against Israel. There's really no other organization that does that. So that's who we are. We have chapters all over the country. We have a chapter in Israel. I've appeared on almost every major television and radio show, from CNN to Neil Cavuto to O'Reilly, to all of them. So we promote Israel in the media. I write articles and op-eds and letters in all the major papers, from the New York Times, the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal. And we also have a campus program where we help teach Jewish college kids how to argue against the lies of the propagandists against Israel. And we bring dozens of Jewish kids to Israel every year. And I think we're the only major Jewish organization that brings them to Yehuda and Shomron. To Hebron and Kedumim and Efrat and Ariel. I don't think any other Jewish organization does that. The others do not go past the 67 line. And this is one of the highlights of that experience, going to Israel for these kids, because they see that these communities are not tents. They're not little houses on a hill. These are real cities, and they find out that these are real people who are wonderful people. They're not radicals and extremists the way the media tries to portray them. So we believe this is one of the most important things we do for these college kids, is let them see the people who live in Yehuda and Shomron. I really think this is almost a racist attitude toward Arabs, where they come to expect that Arabs commit terrorism, commit violence against each other. And look, in Iraq, almost every day there's a suicide bombing. In Iraq, almost every day, where 20 or 40 people are killed. So America and the world has gotten used to this and just thinks this is the way the Arabs are, and there's not much you can do about it. Plus, we're not sure which side is better. We know that Assad's side is very bad because you have Iran and Russia supporting them and Hezbollah supporting them. On the other side, you have Al-Qaeda and other extremist groups fighting against Assad. So both are bad. I think the Assad side is worse, but it's hard to make a decision which side is worse. So American policymakers aren't sure what to do about it, and they feel they won't be able to help anyway. They feel it's so much violence, so hopeless, that they feel they can't do anything. They still feel, after all these years since Oslo, if they pressure Israel enough, Israel will give away more land, believing this will lead to peace, when this is a complete falsehood. The Palestinian Arabs have turned down offers of statehood in 2000 and 2008, and they turned down offers of statehood in 1937 and 1948, because accepting those offers meant accepting the Jewish state of Israel. They won't do this. That's why no matter what they pressure Israel to give away, it won't work, because the Arabs won't make peace no matter what borders you end up making Israel accept. They won't accept it because they won't accept the state of Israel. We have to understand that this is completely futile, and what America and the world should be doing is demanding that we will give you no money, Mr. Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority, no support, till you accept Israel as a Jewish state, till you stop promoting hatred and violence against Jews. We should be asking Mahmoud Abbas, whose nom de guerre, war name, is Abu Mazen. That tells you something right there. He has a war name. America should be saying, we're going to stop the $650 million a year we give you. Europe should be saying the same thing about the billions they give to him, until they accept Israel as a Jewish state, until they end the promotion of hatred and violence against Jews in Israel, in their schools, their media, their speeches, their sermons, their children's camps, until they outlaw terrorist groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad, all of which is required by the Oslo agreements. They agreed to this, until they get rid of all illegal weapons, until they arrest terrorists and keep them in prison, until they stop asking Israel to release terrorists. If you really want peace, why do you want Israel to release terrorists who can only complicate the issue of trying to get to peace, causing terrorism and problems? If you really want peace, you want Israel to keep the terrorists in prison. to keep them away from making more trouble. So until Abbas does these things, the United States should say there's no point in negotiating or discussing anything. Because it's clear after 20 years since Oslo, you haven't fulfilled any of the promises that the Palestinian Authority made in those agreements to create an atmosphere to show you're serious about peace. They haven't even changed the Palestinian covenant. They haven't changed the Fatah covenant. Fatah is the ruling party of the Palestinian Authority. The Fatah charter still calls for Israel's destruction and still calls for terrorism, armed struggle. Why isn't the United States saying you must get rid of this Fatah charter or else there's nothing to talk about? They don't ask them because they know they won't do it. They won't do it. That's why they're not asked to do it. And they're hoping against hope that maybe if Israel offers even more land, we can get to peace. And it's a fantasy. Peace will never happen until they accept Israel as a Jewish state. And that has not happened since Israel was created, and it hasn't happened since Oslo began as well. And President Obama believes if Israel gives everything away up to the 67 border, which means East Jerusalem, throws most of the Jews out of their homes, we're talking about 600,000 or 700,000 Jews who live past the 67 out of their homes. He believes then the Arabs will finally say yes, and he thinks he can pressure Israel to do this. But it's impossible for Israel to do this because you can't throw out hundreds of thousands of people. And even if Israel did all that, the Arabs will not say we accept Israel as a Jewish state. It won't work anyway. I've shown President Obama myself, I handed him at the White House when I was with him, the emblem of the Fatah party, the ruling party, showing all of Israel with an Arab keffiyeh over all of Israel, not just Yehud and Shomron and Gaza, all of it, with a Kalashnikov rifle and a big picture of Arafat. And I said, Mr. President, is this the emblem the Palestinian Authority would have if they were serious about peace with Israel? There's the proof they have no seriousness. They openly show all of Israel as Palestine now, not 20 years ago, now. Until you get them to stop this and stop from their schools teaching that Haifa is Palestine and Jaffa is Palestine and Tel Aviv is Palestine, until that happens, peace is impossible.